Hi there, this is Nick Dutch, and I received a comment on one of my anti-conspiracy theory videos. And it's wrong on so many different levels, as is semi-traditional. I'm not going to mention who has left this particular comment. However, the video in question is called I Hate Conspiracy Theories. Sorry, I Hate Conspiracy Theorists. And no, I'm not editing this, I'm just going to tell you straight. I'm sorry I look like rubbish at the moment. I've got a terrible cold. I'm probably sounding pretty lousy as well. But either way, here we go. This is what the comment says. Isn't it clear that Zionists rule the world? Brackets. Rothschild, Rockefeller, etc. Close brackets, question mark. Just as clear as Alex Jones works for them, probably to let people revolt, so that you will walk right into martial law. By the way, hating people for their opinion isn't really rational, is it? It's called fascism. Okay, from the top, no, it is not clear that Zionists rule the world, because I'm sure if they had, then the expansion of Israel would be a damn sight more rapid than it currently is, and of course there wouldn't be any moves to reduce the geographical size of the state, and so on and so forth. As far as Rothschild and Rockefeller are concerned, I don't even think we can call them Zionists. There are people who have their own, possibly, neoconservative agendas, but I think that's only possibly rather than certainly. I would say that it is not clear, because your question here is, isn't it clear that? The bottom line is no. Also, you're pulling straight from a far right-wing conspiracy theory myth, and this is the same conspiracy theory which helped to create the atrocities of the Second World War. You know, you are actively following that particular line of thinking, the very thinking itself which helped to create the Second World War. You then go on to say, just as clear as Alex Jones works for them. No, I think Alex Jones knows that paranoia is a very good market. That paranoia is a very addictive drug. It's a non-chemical addictive drug, and he will therefore keep people watching his rubbish. So he works for himself. He knows that he can carry on getting people to subscribe to Prison Planet and Infowars.com and all those other rubbish websites that basically do not provide the information that they claim to provide. They do not look into the information or into the articles in sufficient depth, and nor do they actually research the stories in any real detail. I mean, you know, Alex Jones carries on saying you can't make this stuff up, but he does make stuff up all the time. That's why he believes that evolution is basically a lie, and he is an intelligent design proponent. His standards for what is good information and bad information is appalling, and that's proven by his understanding of what is good science and bad science through him believing in intelligent design. As far as Alex Jones being an Illuminatist plot to make people revolt, so that people will walk right into martial law, I don't think it's that heavily orchestrated. The things which are orchestrated in the world are very, very few, I'm pretty damn sure. Martial law, it's something which is threatened. It's not something which is actual, alright? And it's threatened by people who are not going to succeed under any circumstances whatsoever. It's basically not going to happen. But the funniest thing about this comment is the statement, by the way, hating people for their opinion isn't really rational, is it? Hating people for their opinion isn't really rational, isn't it? Well, I think it is actually important to hate people if their views are abhorrent. It's actually important and desirable. I would rather not hate people because of the colour of their skin or their religion, or their, ethnicity or perceived ethnicity. I would rather hate people because of their views, the things that actually make them who they are and what they are. And yes, it is rational to despise people who are propagating the same myths that helped to create the atrocities of the Second World War. I think it's desirable to despise these people in every possible way. And for you to accuse me of fascism when you are following the same myths and the same lies which created the conditions for those atrocities in the first place. I mean, this is laughable. If you can't see that the growing popularity of these anti-Zionist or anti-Jewish, because that's what they really are, views, are responsible for what can only be described as evil. And, if these views start out against the Jews, then they're going to go against the Islamic people, then they're going to go against the Gypsies, then they're going to go against all kinds of things. And then they're going to go against you. Whoever you are, whatever your race or your religion, it just doesn't matter. These anti-Zionist myths are going to turn against the people who are spreading them in the end. And it is more fascistic. Sorry, it's more National Socialist, not fascistic, but National Socialist, to have anti-Zionist views than it is to have views against people who believe lies. I mean, I do hate conspiracy theorists because you're selling on behalf of other people like Alex Jones and David Icke racism, anti-Semitism, and very real fascism. And as far as martial law is concerned, that's the most extreme example of paranoia. If you followed the conspiracy theory rubbish since, even just for as long as I have, just the past couple of years, and you believed it, then you believe that by now we would already be in martial law. We would not only be in economic decline, we would have had a complete out-and-out depression, not a recession, a deep recession. Would have had a total depression. And the Illuminati would be using blue beam to make holograms of aliens appear on your main road. You would actually expect that to happen. Alex Jones is someone who believes that Bob the Builder is a psychological operation by the Illuminati to bring about global fascism. Bob the Builder, for crying out loud. A children's TV character and computer game. Can't you see how ludicrous this is? Alright, and as far as the holograms of aliens is concerned, I haven't seen them. We have not had a depression. We've had an extended, long recession. The problems are slowly being dealt with, but it might take a bit longer. And to the most part, despite the fact there's been a few muck-ups on the way, our alleged masters have actually done not too badly. There's plenty of areas that, that they could have done better on, okay? That I'll admit. But we're not in global tyranny. And to say that we are, or we're going to head that way, or we're going to head into martial law, is a lie. And you've got to start seeing that. And you've got to start seeing that these conspiracy myths are, in fact, for want of a better word, evil. And I'd be very happy if you people would just shut the heck up. This has been Nick Dutch, having a quick rant because I feel like it. Speak to you in a while. Bye for now.